Are we allowed to do a rig review on a car?
I think so. I think so. Why not, right?
Okay.
All right. All right.
So, welcome to the Scale Garage. We're going to do a rig review on a car.
Yeah, I think that's the first, right?
I think it's the first, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. Why not, right?
Why not? So, this car has been the Scale Garage Facebook banner. We've talked about it in the basement racing series. We've been able to stare at it and oogle over it for how long now? A year or something. And this car needs to be talked about because it's so well done. And thanks for sharing your car.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tell us. Let's start from top to bottom.
Okay.
What have we got here? What is this car? What did this car start as? What was the inspiration for you to build it?
Sure. Inspiration. Perhaps I'm just a Porsche fan, and to that end, you know, to me and HPI, they do really nice bodies when it comes to a Porsche. And so yeah, this sort of HPI body caught my eye, and that was kind of my inspiration. Being a Porsche fan, a race car fan, a gearhead.
Yeah, you are a gearhead.
This is sort of, that was my inspiration for it. And
is this not the most gorgeous specimen you've ever seen? Oh my goodness, what a beautiful car.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. As we've talked about before, this is kind of my showpiece. This doesn't see much track time, but it does. I have raced it. Yeah, so, and you know, how does one choose colors and so on and so forth? Well, I don't know. I seem to be drawn to the color orange. I've got an orange Hilux out there. I don't know, and I really like the sort of black stripe in the center. Orange and black seems to be a really sort of in vogue color at the moment.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Timeless, kind of race car-ish for sure. Yeah.
It started, I really wanted to sort of go into the Racing Golf series, if you know what I mean. Which has got that orange, that creamy blue, and a black trim, I think it is.
Yeah.
And so the design that you're going to see with sort of the swooping front end and then the center stripe up the middle, the design is sort of reminiscent to that. And they usually have a big Golf logo in the center and then off to the side.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I started with. I was looking at those, and then I thought, well, why don't I just make it an orange and black car for simplicity and dramatic effect, or visual effect, perhaps. And so that's kind of where I went with it, and that's how I picked the colors for this beautiful Porsche.
So it's an HPI body.
HPI, yeah.
Like, what was their series that they were running there?
What was that? It was Cup Racers.
Cup Racers.
Yeah,
so
you know,
it's a Cup Racer body.
Yeah, really good series too. They kind of discontinued that.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder to get those bodies. I have the BMW 202 or 2002 one. I've got the HPI 510, and then I've got this one, and really nice series, really detailed bodies.
It's beautiful. Like, the lines on it are so incredible. They did a good job on it.
Yeah, and they've got a great decal package.
Yeah.
Good light buckets with it. It's a really nice little package. So that was where I went with the body. The HPI Cup Racer series is where this came from.
But I think Cup Racers are four-wheel drive, aren't they? Or did they have a rear-wheel drive?
I think they are four-wheel drive. I think you're right.
But that's not what this is.
No. So that's the shell, and then what we got into, of course, Porsche Scale.
Yeah.
We need to have something that is rear-wheel drive.
Of course.
So I went with the M04 Tamiya Mini chassis, and that's because of it being rear-wheel drive. Having one available, I think. I got one off of one of our local buds.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I wanted to put it under. I don't think, well, the Porsche's rear engine, and now there's the M06 out there, but at the time the M04 was what was closest to fitting this.
I'd love to take the body off and show everybody the chassis, but there's no clips on this or anything, so I have no idea how to...
Yeah, one of the things that, and I credit you for this, one of the things that we do at GCM over here is we try to be as scale as possible.
Yeah.
With good parts and so on and so forth. But one of the little things that I think does a lot is we try not to do many body posts.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it just kind of takes away from when you're taking that cool shot or video.
Yeah.
And you know, you sort of for 1 second you're not sure, is that real or is that an RC car? You know, we always strive for that.
Yeah, of course.
And having these big body posts sticking out sometimes takes away from that. So
yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps we'll sort of get into it, lift off the body, and have a look at the chassis.
Maybe you can figure out a way to peel that off, and we'll have a look.
Yeah, so it's really just Velcroed on.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's Velcroed on, and as you can see, that's kind of what we're looking at.
So the interior, full interior pan.
Yep.
It's I guess a belt line interior, but this one's pretty deep. I don't know if you guys can see that in the video, but it's got a real depth to it, actually. It goes down about halfway down the door.
Yeah, it is the Tamiya pan interior that they offer, but kind of put a little bit lower into the chassis and build up the door panels a little bit. So that's it, and it's got a full light bucket that I created in the front, so it's also whole dash is lit up.
Yeah, in the front here, yeah.
You know, just a simple Velcro application. It works. Sometimes if we get into the rough business on the track, the body can tend to wander a bit and you got to readjust. But being a bit of more of a showpiece and an occasional rider, it does the job.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got sort of my own handmade light buckets in the front. And then what I've done, because the track is so tight and there's a lot to bounce off of, you know, a little bit of shoe glue and that sort of drywall tape just to protect the front end.
Yeah.
Does a lot of good. Keeps the body nice and rigid.
Yeah.
You don't get any cracks that tend to form fairly quickly in the front or just above the wheel arch there.
Yeah.
So that was sort of the building technique that I went with there when it came to the front end and a bit of the rear end.
And I think the rear is a two-piece actually, right? Because isn't this not part of the main body shell?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happened is, or how it's designed is, this rear bumper from the lights down is one piece, and then this whale tail, or what looks like a whale tail to some extent, is another piece. And so it's a three-piece body shell that you have to bring together in the rear end, and yeah, it looks good. Came together quite nice.
It looks solid enough to drive. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to fall off anytime soon.
No, and they provide all the hardware and all the things necessary for that. You can see I've got some lighting. You know, you kind of gotta be tricky when you're lighting it because there's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
Especially a Porsche, they're kind of low to the ground, and then now you're putting a cockpit in there, and I've had to redo the whole back end of this Tamiya cockpit. So that it would fit. So that was all custom done on the back so that it would all come together.
Yeah.
And then I've used, I think that's a 3 racing LED light system.
Yeah.
In there. They work well. I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the underneath of the shell anyways.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And then this looks like an bunch of aluminum on this. Is it a Pro kit?
It is the basic Pro kit because, you know, you can get the R now and you can get a bunch of different versions. Real simple Pro kit. It comes with a few blue bits on it, up front, rear. The great shocks that they offer Tamiya.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, those blue hop-up shocks in the front end and the rear, they really work well.
Yeah, they're smooth.
Yeah, and then this is a Bluebird or Hobby King Bluebird fast servo.
It is super fast.
And then we've got a stock Tamiya ESC. And then I've also gone ahead and put some rotors in it, just from Hobby King, make it, you know, scale it out, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's an MO4 chassis, very basic, very simple. Again, with the few hop-ups. My mounting technique here, which is actually kind of crude, but it works. Yeah, pieces of balsa wood or a little bit more of a hardwood with some Velcro straps, front and back.
Yeah.
Does the job, hot glued in place.
Yep.
for this particular build, I really needed to get as low as I could because of the body.
That's right.
So this was the option I went with. It does a good job. It's fine. You know, with mounting bodies, there are many different ways. This seemed to work well for me at this point.
And you said something about matching the wheelbase on this. Can we show that off somehow?
Yeah, I was really surprised when I didn't realize that the HPI Cup Racer body and the Tamiya MO4 chassis, they don't line up. The wheelbases don't line up.
Huh.
So I had to change the wheelbase, actually go shorter. And I have to credit the internet out there. You know, I didn't know what to do, and so I typed, you know, sort of wheelbase conversion for an MO4 chassis. And there are videos out there that YouTube videos, I can't remember offhand, but there are videos out there that describe how to do this, and so that's what I did. So, you know, you're looking at some rear suspension arms had to be used, some spacers had to be used.
Well, that's a rear arm?
Yeah, one of them's a rear arm.
Oh, wow.
I believe. Or maybe it's two front arms, but the rear one. Anyways, I had to also use the long sort of pivot pin.
Okay.
So there's a few adjustments and a few spacers, but if you've got those parts lying around, and as you know probably from past reviews, I've got a few of these cars, so I've got a lot of parts that are sort of in the bin.
Yeah.
So you can draw from that. It's really simple. It's not difficult. And then that way it allows you to shorten the wheelbase.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you've got to sort of dial in the turning radius after that. But it works well, and it does a good job.
Cool.
Yeah. So again, MO4 chassis with a shortened wheelbase, a stock motor, all stock with a few hop-up bits on it, Pro chassis, and yeah, it's done well for me, and it really sort of came together nice.
Oh yeah.
You know, you sort of have to have a vision in your head as to what you want to do, and then move forward with that. And I was lucky enough that it all sort of came together really nice.
You did offset rims on the back too, eh?
Yeah, these are the HPI. I've got 6 and 3. So
Yeah.
I got a 6 mil on the back and a 3 mil on the front, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And that sort of fit well with this body type.
Sure did.
It's got the deep wells in the back, right? Being a Porsche, being a race Porsche.
Yeah.
So I had to put the 6 mils and then the 3 mils in the front, and that worked out great.
Wow.
Yeah. So it, you know, it looks good in the diorama in the racetrack.
Oh, it's just a beautiful car.
Yeah, so I'm really pleased with it.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Jones from Bodyworks, I believe,
Yeah.
He painted it. My design, but I got him to paint it, so kudos to him. But that was, I just ran out of time, and oftentimes when you run out of time, you sort of rely on your friends and the club and the networking out there, and
Yeah.
got that done for me. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, wow.
So there you have it. That's
What a beautiful car.
thank you. And LiPo battery, 2400, really simple. And you know, in our basement, stock is all we need. To be honest with you, there's no real need for a lot of hop-ups in that regard. Slicks, sticky tires, HPI again, great stuff. Yeah, and then you know the decal work was a combination of the supplied HPI decals, which are great, and then I've got the Tamiya, some of the Tamiya stuff on there. So just sort of my own creation, my own design when it came to the decal work. Yeah, I think it. I think it turned out great. Of course, as we touched on before, we've got that Orange Crush logo, which is a match for that Hilux, that orange Hilux out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a lot of work, a lot of fun, and it came out as we see here.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Well done. This it looks kind of. It reminds me of a car that is reliable.
Yep.
Good equipment.
Yep.
Not too complicated.
No.
But still with some performance in mind, with a speedy servo, you know, and a good reliable drivetrain, and a good set of tires on it, and of course it's scaled out so well.
Yeah, you know, that's you sort of realize when you go through this process of building these cars what you do and don't need, or what's a necessity, what it quite isn't, you know, or and yeah, as you said, sort of simple design with a few hop-ups, a few things here and there, and it just came together really well.
How do you find the handling and performance on the car? Like, you've added quite a bit of weight to it in some ways, right? If this was a basic Lexan shell, you wouldn't have the lighting system or the interior or the driver or whatever. So have you found that there's really a performance difference?
You know what? With a little bit of weight, and of course we do that basement racing, with a little bit of weight, I think it bodes well. It kind of gets the tires into the corner. Yeah. So there's a bit of weight transfer. I've done some on-road racing at Sutton Racetrack out there, a local track we have. In that aspect, you want to be as light as possible, you know, with the wide open racing and so on. Yeah. You know, no lights, no nothing. But, you know, for what we're doing down in our basements, you know, a little bit of weight gives you a little bit more traction and a little bit the transfer of the weight. So it performs quite well. And looks awesome. So performance is good. It's got all the necessary things I want, and it's scaled out to the max. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Beautiful. Thank you.
You know, a lot of the racers add weight to their cars.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess so. I mean, I'm not much of a racer other than in my basement, so yeah, that would make sense. You know, so get weight transfer and so on and so forth. Yeah. So there it is, and it's all its glory.
Well done.
Yeah, just got to use it a little bit more, but gingerly.
So, how did you figure out that you could use this body with this car? And I mean, I've always sort of questioned that. I mean, when it comes to, you know, if I buy a Mini, I feel like I need a Tamiya body. Right.
You know, it wasn't necessarily. I just liked the Cup Racer series. I liked the body. I'm a fan of Porsche. So I just chose the body and then decided, okay, well, what needs to go underneath it?
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of top down. And then that's where I kind of ran into that problem with the wheelbase, not realizing that the wheelbase was bang on with the MO4. So, you know, you'd sort of get online, and as I said before, you talk to your buds, and you get plugged into the RC world, and you see what solutions are out there, and that's kind of how it came to be. So yeah, it was useful, and for all those out there that are having fun with the RC and sending out information, much like we do. Yeah. You know, it's very useful.
Yeah. And thank you.
Yeah, so it's good.
Somebody put up a video of that suspension mod, and that helps everybody.
Of course.
Like, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. That's what it's all about. That's why we do this. We know we like to share our information and see, you know, the tricks of the trades and what we're doing here, and so that's what this is. And I think it really came well together really nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, some people actually ask me on the channel to get you to do a rig review.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Facebook out there, so I had no idea it was the banner until you recently told me. But that's fine, because that's great. I'm appreciative of the fact that my stuff can be out there. But yeah, so, you know, that's why we're out here doing these types of things, and, you know, doing these rig reviews and showing off these pieces. And yeah, so it's that's, you know, and I know there's been some comments about getting the bodies off of these things and having a look, so that's what we're trying to do here. And
well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
This is such a beautiful car. I can't wait to see what we end up pulling out next.
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, onward and forward, right?
Onward and forward. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, for those, this is a bit of a preview, but I'm restoring a Tamiya Porsche 959.
You certainly are.
And I guess that's my Porsche fan club sort of thing going on here. So yeah, that vintage 80s 959 is being restored as we speak, so hopefully that will turn out quite nice. I don't think it'll be as nice as this because it's 35 years old and it's a restoration job, whereas this one sort of started from new. Yeah. But yeah, so that's coming up too.
Oh, I hope to see that soon.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks Dana for sharing.
No problem, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, make sure you like and comment, subscribe, share this, put it into your Cup Racer forum, or you can drop it into your Tamiya club for on-road or ScaleGarage or whatever you've got going on, and just share it around so people can have a look. And put your comments down below if you got any questions for Dana, and we'll be sure to have him answer your questions. And thanks again for watching.
Thank you.
Enjoy.